Alright, people, welcome to my YouTube channel. Working on a 2012 Chevy Cruze 1.4 turbocharged LT. I'm going to show you a main common problem with this car, and I've already dealt with it a few times. Okay, as you can tell, with the Echo motor, they've had issues with the valve cover and gasket always leaking. Well, I had the original one on here that came from GM. I guess at the time the PCV valve was busted, but before I even realized that, I changed the gasket on it because it started leaking right here at first. So I replaced the gasket only, kept the original GM valve cover. It did not leak at all until I found out this was actually broken inside. It was shooting out air, which was called a vacuum leak. I had to replace it with an aftermarket valve cover and a gasket, and since then I've had nothing but leaks. The most common problem where it starts leaking is right here, and it didn't leak anywhere else. Now it's starting to leak back here again, and now it's leaking over here and over here. The oil cap is yellow because AutoZone didn't have black at all. Either did O'Reilly's or Discount, only yellow, which I don't really like yellow, but oh well. So as you can tell, we put the washers on each one of the screws before and used the Phil Pro gasket, which is the only one that they carry at most auto parts stores around here. And it still didn't really solve the problem. I had the dealership put this on because they gave me a hard time not wanting to fix it. So they put it on. They said they solved it. They did not. It still remains to leak here. The Chevy Cruzes, they don't have any grooves on the engine block itself, just on the valve cover. I don't recommend getting the valve covers from CarQuest because we've had issues. We went through 4 in one day. We had one that already had strip bolts. One did not come with the washers, and some of them came with metal washers. They gave us the right valve cover once before and gave us the wrong gasket because there's 2 different gaskets for the 1.4 liter motor. Then the second one we got, they gave us one that had a hole on right here on the corner side, and it gave us another one that had a hole on the inside, but on the, I think it was on this side. We took it back. O'Reilly's didn't have them. AutoZone on top of the world did. So we went to AutoZone. I think it was like $79 for this. Comes with the gasket, and the bolts are already included. You could take these bolts out if you want to, but they're a pain in the ass to get back in. I am about to take it off again, but I'm going to do it the way I had it before, where it did not leak. I'm going to take it off. I'm going to put gasket maker all around the engine block itself. Wait till it completely dry, especially on that little groove they have that one there by the timing chain side. And I'm going to make sure every washer is on every one of these bolts, including the one where the spark plugs are. And I'm going to put it on the groove and where the gasket goes on the valve cover. It's not really recommended to grease up the actual gasket itself, because then it's just going to fall out. And I realized that. And on these gaskets don't get pushed all the way into those grooves. They stick out. I don't know why. Every vehicle I've owned in the past, I've never had a problem where they don't go in all the way. And as you can tell here, this has to come off too. I'm having a problem. This is brand spanking new, $159, because the coil pack on the cylinder right here went bad. It broke. And as you can tell, I got to take it back. That's where I get it off, because the dealership put this one on. When I put this on, it was never stripped. This bolt's not stripped. This bolt is. So as you can tell, I'm drilling it out. It's taking time. And AutoZone told me that it does not void my warranty, which is good. So I'm going to have to take it back because I don't think I'm going to be able to get a screw in that size to take it out. I mean, a screw that size to put back in there. And Ace Hardware is usually the best place to go. As you can see, it's leaking here a little bit, but it did say it was low on oil by 1 quart. But I checked the oil again, it says it was full. But I put Barks in there trying to see if it could seal it up. So we're going to have to go through this process again, but it seemed not to help. I think I might have overfilled the oil a little bit. It said it takes 4.2 quarts for this engine. It's not leaking here, and it leaking back here a little bit, which you cannot really see, but you see how it's wet around the top edge. It seems to be a common problem with this vehicle. So as soon as I get this off, I will let you know how it goes. So if you have any problems with the Chevy Cruze 1.4 with the oil leak, this is how it usually ends up happening. This car only has 145,000 miles. The leak occurred at 132,000 miles. But I'm not going to replace this. I'm just going to try to use the original gasket and try to just put stuff around it. Or I bought the gasket already. I might just replace it since it's dry and clean. And use this because since this PVC is still good. And we'll see what happens. Usually the Fill Pros are a little bit of a thicker gasket. But I don't think they seed right. But when I put it on there, it did. But if you have any questions, you can comment on my video at any time. Have a great day.